Hello everyone and welcome to another real estate video. This is Javy Vidana, the real estate YouTube guy here in Phoenix, Arizona, helping you accomplish your home goals. So in today's video, we're gonna get a little more interactive for you guys. When you're working with a real estate agent or a lender of some sorts, yes, they're licensed, yes, they know what they're doing, but the big advantage we have over most people is we have experience. So what we're gonna do today is, while I'm chatting you guys' ear off, we're going to have my laptop on the screen and I'm going to do with you guys real time how I identify good deals in the market and how I identify if we have a good chance of getting the property we're looking at. But before we begin, if this is the first time you're watching, welcome to the channel. I make weekly real estate educational videos to help you accomplish your home goals. If you like this video, if you don't mind, please like and subscribe. And if you're already a home goal homie, just like it. You know the drill. All right, let's get to it. First thing I do when I start a search is I just go to a general quick search to just get a good sense of everything. So what I'm going to do now, first we're going to make a search for a buyer who's looking in Gilbert, which is a East Valley city here in Phoenix. They're looking up to $350,000. They want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. For the sake of this search, I'm not going to get too particular or picky about what they're looking for, so we'll just start it off with that. When I create a search, I always like to go just like maybe 5,000 more above. Reason I do it is because sometimes sellers are greedy and they say, well, my house is worth $350, but I'm really going to list it at $352 because I want to get those extra $2,000. So I always like to add just a little more just to make sure we get everything. Want to focus on single family homes because in this case, the buyer does not want a townhouse or a condo. We're going to focus on, like I said, 4-bedroom, 2-bath homes in the city of Gilbert, Arizona. So here on the screen, this is what I love about the MLS. You're able to actually see what boxes pop up and what houses are available. Every green box you see is something that still shows active on the MLS, meaning it's still available. So just so you guys can see what I meant, if I move this to 350, it goes down to 9. So there was another 4 houses that came up in those extra 352, 353, which is why I always do this. So, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So now, what's the first thing I do? Before I even look at any houses before I identify good deals or not good deals, the first thing I do is I figure out the sense of how the market is in that area. Is it a hot market? Is it a cool market? What's the situation? So right now there's 13 active properties. So what I do now is I look at what's under contract and what's pending. So there's 3 phases of a home purchase. There's when it's active and available, there's when it's under contract or pending, and then that's when it's closed. Closed, it's already closed, there's nothing you can do. Pending, it's literally the 30-day period where you're still working on closing the deal. So most of the time it takes about 20 to 30 days for a house to close. So according to this, there's been 59 houses that have went under contract in the last 0 to 30 days in the Gilbert area. Now, if you remember, there was 13 houses that were available. So what I like to do now is I find the ratio of how many houses get listed and how many get sold at any given time. And this is how I do it. Hey guys, it's Javier. Sorry, I just noticed a math mistake. So I'm fixing this post-edit. Look at my dumb face. How dare I make that mistake? Anyways, so I want to just clarify the math here. So the first thing you got to do is you combine your total pending listings and your active listings so you can find out what your total amount of listings are at the moment. So in this case, there was 13 active listings and I think 59 pending listings. So there's total 72. So for you guys, find your total listings first. And once you have that, what you want to do is you divide your amount of pending listings by your total listings. So in this case, it would be 59 divided by 72. If you break it down, this means that of 72 listings that get put on the market, 59 are under contract. Big number, you don't really get the emphasis in it. So what you want to do at this point, or at least what I do, is I find what the total percentage is. So what you do is you divide, my case 59 divided by 72, I get 81.9. So on average about 82%. So and this means 82% of listings that get put on the market sell right away. Once again, emphasis isn't quite clear. So what I do here is I find what the fraction is. So I guess I kind of need you guys to do some math here on your own. I don't really know how that would work. In my case, what I'm going to do, it's 82%. I'm going to round it down to 80. So 80 would be 4 out of 5. So therefore I can assess that out of every 5 listings hit on the market, 4 of them are expected to sell right away, thus giving me an idea of how hot the market really is. Approximately 80% chance the house is going to sell immediately right away, and a 20% chance that this house is going to stay on the market for a while. So this is telling me it's really hot. I mean, clearly 5 houses get listed, 4 of them sell. Really hot market. Usually when there's 50% ratio, maybe half of them sell, half of them don't sell, shows like a warm market. And if there's a clear distinct, like there's more houses being listed than being bought at any given time, probably in the 10s or 20s or 30s, anything below 50 really, that's where it shows me it's a really cool market. So Gilbert, I'm already coming into the mindset of this is a really hot market, things are selling quick. Now, something that I do next, which you might not be able to do, but your realtor can do for you, is I look at the closed listings for the last 30 days. The reason I do this is because I want to just get a track record of what's happening in that area with closing costs, if they're selling for more money, if buyers are getting what they want, or if sellers are getting what they want in that area. So I'm going to do it now. In the last 30 days, there's been 30 houses that have sold. And if I look, remember, I only went up to 350. I start with the highest number, and I already start noticing some houses that have sold for 365. What that tells me is that even though it was listed at 350, and that's why it pops up in our search, the sold price is a lot higher. So already I can tell out of the 30 houses, 3 of them have sold over list price. And if I can actually click the MLS, I can show you guys, I can see how many days it took to sell. So in this case, it took 3 days to sell. And I can see if the seller paid any closing costs. So in this case, this house was so nice that it sold within 3 days for $15,000 above value, and the seller did not give any closing costs to the buyer. This one, it was listed for $350, ended up selling for $360, no closing costs given. Next one, listed for $350, sold for $355, no closing costs given. I'm already getting a feel that in this area, buyers are going to be in a position where they might have to cover their closing costs. So at this point, we know if it's a hot market or not, and what buyers generally are getting out of their deals when they're negotiating with these buyers. So that gives me a good sense of what is to come, and now I start looking at the ones that are currently available. So here in this general price range, there's 13 houses for sale right now, meaning if you were a buyer right now and you wanted to start your search in this area, this would be the houses that you can pick from. Now remember, most of the time the house you end up buying is not the one that's actually for sale right now. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's start off by talking about this one down here in the 328 range. So what's the first thing I look at when I look at an MLS search? I always scroll down and I see how many days on the market this house has been on the market for. In this case, it's been 54 days. The next thing I notice is, has it ever been under contract? The reason is because it might be 30, 40 days on the market already, but what if it went under contract for 30 days? Well, then at that point, it really wasn't on the market for 44 days. It was really on the market for like 5 or 10, and somebody bought it and then just recently fell out of escrow, who knows what. Well, in this case, status changed. It was listed on the 6th, and they changed the date here, but it doesn't show that it was been under contract or anything like that. So this one's been on the market for 54 days and it hasn't gone under contract. Next thing I look at is see if there's any been changes to the price. The original list price on this one was $332. The price now is $328, so they have done a price reduction. So at this point, my brain is telling me something's not right here. It hasn't sold. We know the market's hot in Gilbert, so it doesn't make sense why it's still on the market. So I do the next thing that you probably all would do is we look at the photos. Is this a good house or not? As I look through the photos, I've already at this point have a trained eye, so you guys might not see the same things I do. I notice the tiles look older. The grout is kind of darker grayish. Paint is nice yellow with the cabinets with the brown, so you know, probably not very modern aesthetic, hasn't been upgraded probably. Countertops do look like a nice rounded edge granite. Cabinets do look like in pretty good shape, but overall, you know, it's in good shape, but not amazing, like perfectly conditioned shape. So automatically I can see that this is not a house that's going to be like, oh man, this is going to fly off the shelves. This is kind of, if I were to 1 to 10 in the quality, not quality, but rather aesthetic and, you know, sellability of it, it might be like a 6 or a 7. It comes with a washer and dryer, and the backyard is kind of non-existent. It's just like some pavers, really nothing else going for it. I mean, it's not an ugly house, so it should have sold quicker. So without looking at the comparables in the neighborhood and the market, I naturally come to the assumption that it hasn't sold because it's a little overpriced. Now, this might be a good opportunity for us to either get closing costs paid by the seller. This will probably be one of those chances where we can get them to give us some closing cost, or you can come in more aggressively with the price. This is a situation where you as the buyer have a little more leverage. Now, we can make a lower offer and the seller can be unreasonable and say, no, we're not working with you. In that case, we can't do nothing. We have to move on. But this is a situation that's clearly in high good opportunity for us to get closing costs. Now, here's another one. This one is a good example of what I was telling you earlier. If you look at the days on the market, it says 2739 days, which you would automatically assume, oh, it's been on the market for a long time. But what I see here is that it was listed on the 24th, but it actually went on the market on the 7th, and it was under contract, but it fell through on the 31st. So it really only took a few days to sell it. And it's truly only had been on the market now, because this is currently June 2nd or June 3rd. So it's only been on the market for a few days. So don't let the days on market fool you here. It seems like it's higher, but really it's not. It's just they happen to leave their house under contract instead of pending, which let those days to kind of stack up. So this is a situation where days on market isn't really on our side. Now I look at the price. It sold right away for the price that it's listed at. So odds are it probably will sell again. So it's already looking like it might be a high in demand situation. And I could tell it looks really nice. Inside, the pictures are very well. Flooring is laminate, not so great. Looks like older cabinets as well. Not in the best of shape. So I think the value of this house, though, is not necessarily what's inside the house, but the amount of bedrooms. Because for $355, you're getting 5 bedrooms instead of 3 or 4 bedrooms. And I bet you, if it sold so quickly, it's probably in a pretty decent area. So, oh, and it has a nice big old yard too. So yeah, there's a lot more going for this house. So this is one situation where I probably would call and figure out, hey, what's going on here? If there's a situation like this one where it's only been 1 day on the market, odds are is you're not going to try to get much leverage out of them, because when it's so new on the market, even if they are not getting any showings, they're not going to take lower offers because they're just listing it. What would you say in this situation if you got a low ball offer your first day? You would probably be like, nah, let's keep waiting to see if there's anyone else coming up. And last but not least, we'll look at this one. 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, just got listed 2 days ago. I can see it's $339, and as you start, looking for a house and getting into your search, you start realizing what houses sell faster than others. So something like this, to me, I kind of get the sense it would sell quicker. It's a 2-story home, has a beautiful yard. Inside looks immaculate, perfectly well painted. Looks like new countertops, new flooring throughout. So something like this, kitchen looks really good, would probably sell way quicker than most. So in this situation, because it's a new listing, I would probably call and verify with the seller to see if it's still available. Or if there's any offers on the table. But most of the time, something like this will sell a lot quicker. So all in all, this is a good idea of what I do to look in a house and look and figure out what's a good deal or not a good deal. In summary, if a house has a long days on the market, hasn't really reduced their price that much, hasn't been under contract for a while, that's a good opportunity for us to try to get a better quote unquote deal, either lower price or more closing costs. If the house is newer, the odds of getting a little better deal will be harder, but more importantly, as you start looking into more houses, you start getting a sense of which houses will sell a lot quicker. So if the marketing is right, it's newer on the market, and your agent calls and there are multiple people looking at it and multiple offers, odds are the ability for you to get a good deal was out the window, and you need to do what you need to do if you love this house. Go in above value, ask for closing costs, etc. Also, it's very, very helpful to know when you're looking through the houses that have sold, look at the quality, look at the photos. Like for example, if we do that right now, if we go back to our under contract and pending homes, I bet you most of these ones are gonna have great photos. Well, I was wrong. But most of them will have great photos, 1 or 2 story homes, really granite countertops, nicer flooring, stuff like that, right? So if you really go through these pending houses and really absorb them, and then you go back to your to your active search, and you start comparing the differences, you're going to start realizing which houses sell and which houses don't. So if it has great marketing and it feels like a nice, decent house, and it's newer on the market, or it just came back on the market, odds are this is a competitive situation. So go all in. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. If you actually stayed through the whole video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you're interested, I actually just released a new e-workbook. It's like a digital interactive workbook where you basically learn all about the home buying process and things that you need to prepare for before talking with your realtor or lender. It is available now, and if you don't want that, I actually have a home goals community where I give weekly free advice, and I'm going to start doing free weekly live Q&A sessions just for my subscribers and people that join it. So if you're interested, link is below. You can sign up. It's next to my fillable stuff, so feel free to do that. If you're in the Phoenix, Arizona Arizona area and you're looking for a realtor, I am available for you. Feel free to reach out. All my contact information is below. Thank you guys so much for watching, for your time. It's been a long day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. Let's make it a wonderful day. Thank you.